Hi everyone, Ram here, developer advocate at Vast Data. And today I want to talk about Vast Labs. So first of all, what are Vast Labs? And on the screen right now, you see that we're at community.vastdata.com. So make sure you sign up for our community. This is how you can ask questions about Vast Data, and as well you can access all our different labs. So I'm just going to click on the actual official guide to labs. Let me scroll to the top. And in essence, the labs gives you access to sandbox infrastructure that you can use to try out and get experience with working with Vast. So we have two different types of labs that we offer. Think of them as tutorials and walkthroughs of how to actually use our dashboard, our Vast management system, our VMS. So those are GUI based. So we have quite a few GUI-based labs that can walk you through how to actually use the actual Vast management system. And what I'm more excited about is that we have code labs. So if you want to programmatically manage your Vast system, you can do it through our Vast DB and our Vast Pi modules. So these code-based labs let you programmatically manage your Vast system through APIs. And what we recently launched is a code server. So the code server essentially allows you to try out all the code and all our code-based labs on our own infrastructure. So you don't need a Vast system up and running to run this. You can actually do this on our sandbox infrastructure that allows you to run through all our code-based labs. So before I go into the actual code-based labs and show you what that looks like, I want to take you through the actual GitHub repo. So if you go to github.com, you go to Vast Data and you go to Cosmos Labs. So I have that open over here. And here are all our different code labs. So we have examples, which I'll show you in a second, and as well we have labs. So think of examples as code samples or code snippets that you can run. And then labs are actual how-to walkthroughs and how to complete specific tasks or how to do specific things with the actual Vast system. Now that we've kind of talked about Vast Labs, we talked about the community, we talked about GitHub, we talked about the different labs, the UI and the code labs, I'm excited to show you our actual code server that our team's been working on. So here is the link to the code server, and you get access to our actual sandbox infrastructure once you've actually signed up for the community. So once you sign up for the Cosmos community at community.vastdata.com, you will have access to our actual sandbox environment. So let's go ahead and click on the actual link here. And this is going to take you to our code lab. So I'm going to launch the environment. I'm just going to bring over the window. And since this is a pop-up, I'm just going to bring this pop-up into the actual browser. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to copy it over here. And here we actually have an instance of Visual Studio Code running that we can use and we can run code examples with. So we have two tabs open. So the second tab is the actual Vast UI. So you can actually log in here to the Vast UI. So this will connect you to the Vast management system. Oh, my login failed. Let me try that again. The username and password is right here on the left side. So do Cosmos 2025. And here is the actual VMS that you can go ahead and manage through the actual UI. So you can actually see how the UI works, what are the different elements of the UI, and how you can access specific parts of the UI using the Vast UI labs or the VMS lab. But what I want to show you is how you can actually use the code server to run code and access information on the actual VMS. How you can manage and retrieve information about the Vast system itself using Python. And one thing I just want to point out, we're going to try to retrieve some information here. And I want to just call out the usable data, which is about 213 terabytes, and logical data, which is about 825 terabytes. So I'm going to run some code to get this information using the code server. So the code server is set up like Visual Studio Code. So you can go in, and I'm going to run the first example here, which is connecting to Vast. So this is going to connect to the actual Vast system, and it's going to grab information similar to what I went through in the VMS itself. So we're going to go to the terminal. And inside the terminal, we're going to run Python examples, and we're going to run the first example. And what this is going to do, this is going to connect to the actual Vast system, and this is going to retrieve information from the actual Vast system. So it's retrieving storage information, and as well it shows the numbers that I went through on the VMS. So it shows the usable and the logical storage. So you can actually go through all the code labs on our actual sandbox infrastructure, and you can run all the code and you can try it out. So I can just run another one to give you an example. We're going to do the fourth example. So we're going to do Python examples, and we're going to run the fourth code sample, and this is just monitor health check. So this is going to just do a system performance check for you, and it's going to tell you all the performance and health related information that you need to know. So what you can do in your own time is you can sign up for Cosmos community, you can come to the code server and you can take a look and go through any one of the labs and the code examples that we have. And that's a great way for you to get started with using Vast. So again, that's at community.vastdata.com. And then from there, you can actually go to the actual official guide. So here's the announcement. So our Vast Data Code Labs are open. And as well, you can go to the official guide to get all the details and all the links. And the first place to start or where to get started is to head over to the community. And if you have any questions as well, you can reach out in the community as well.